This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. So I talked about how we can focus on our problems so much that we think that no other team has problems, when the truth is that all the AFC North teams have their own problems that they are privately kind of freaking out about, right? Pittsburgh's offense is something that is not something that fan base is happy about. The inconsistency overall from the Baltimore Ravens is something that their fans, if they're being honest with themselves, cannot be happy about. And then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals and the way that they've started the season, I don't think that there's any way that you can make an argument that those fans could be happy. There's always fans in denial, acting as if those things aren't happening, but we all seen them. We all seen how unhappy every AFC North fan base kind of is with their team at this point, because it doesn't seem like anybody is performing at the level of expectations, other than maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I would argue have been performing above expectations. But if we're talking about how people were talking about the Steelers offense in the preseason, then obviously you see where you get to where they're at, where I think people kind of overrated them based on a couple of good preseason performances. But what I want to do today is look at the rest of the schedule and see how this schedule lays out for the Cleveland Browns. Remember, I usually say when we do the schedule game, when this comes out like in May, whatever we think of the schedule in May matters so little, because the schedule changes throughout the year based on who's going to be healthy, when you're going to play teams, and who's playing good at the time that you're playing them. You can't figure out any of that by looking at a bunch of logos in May, but you can get a better idea when you look at this schedule in October. So let's do that. We're going to bring up the schedule here. And right now the Browns are 2-2 coming out the bye, and they play the San Francisco 49ers. Now, not much has changed. We knew the 49ers were going to be a very tough team to beat, even at home. We knew they were going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. They have been that. They probably are the best team in football right now. I think they're the only undefeated team, or I think them and the Eagles right now, I think annually, are the only undefeated teams in football at this point in time. So will the Browns be the ones to take them down? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, right? Will Deshaun Watson play? If DTR plays, does he look the same as he did against the Baltimore Ravens, or does it look worse? I tend to think if he's more prepared, he will look better. I don't care if the defense is better. If he's more prepared, he will look better, because he just didn't look prepared against Baltimore. So I think he'll be better if he has to play against the San Francisco 49ers. I think the team will be better. They will be able to game plan around his weaknesses a lot better. They'll be able to do something around him rather than kind of being caught off guard. Nobody's going to be caught off guard if Deshaun Watson doesn't play this week, not in the fan base or in the coaching staff or DTR. I think everybody was just caught off guard. And then you're playing a veteran defense that's seen this offense a bunch of times, and it was a recipe for disaster. I think DTR will look much better if he plays this week. I know a lot of people, look, this is the thing too that happens with hype, right? People were hyping up DTR and talking about how he's going to take the job from Deshaun and all this crazy stuff. And when Deshaun was struggling, how we should throw him in. And then the second you throw him in and he doesn't live up to those expectations, people turn on him with the same amount of energy that they used to pipe him up. Got to stop doing that. Got to calm down. Right? Every time this team has a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick that we hype up. This happened with Perion Winfrey. This happened with Anthony Schwartz. This happens with every 4th or 5th round pick that this team has, that somebody in the fan base hypes up. Whether it be me, somebody else, whatever it is, people at home. If that person gets hyped up a little bit, we get so carried away that when that person doesn't become the best football player in the universe, we turn on them so violently. Look at what happened to Anthony Schwartz. No 3rd round pick should have the level of vitriol that Anthony Schwartz got. He was a 3rd round pick. Why did we care so much? Seriously. But we were assholes about Anthony Schwartz. Then Perion Winfrey, that situation does himself. He didn't know himself no favors. I'm not really going to give him sympathy on this. But DTR has one bad game, and people are unleashing a level of hatred on him that's just not justified. He had a bad game. He's a rookie 5th-round pick. Let's please, like, relax on some of the stuff that I see being tweeted about him. Like, it's unnecessary, it's unwarranted, and it's an overreaction. How else do we, if we think that the coaching staff didn't have him prepared, why are we mad at him? Why do we think he sucks? Because he wasn't prepared to go out there and play the Baltimore Ravens? When nobody thought he was going to play? You know what I mean? So I think people have been a little bit harsh on him. I don't know if he's going to be that good his rookie year, but he's going to be better than what he was in week 4 if he plays again. So I don't know what happens in that game. Let's just call it a loss, right? Let's say the Browns lose this game versus San Francisco. Oh my God, the Browns are 2-3. Is the season over? Absolutely not. The reason the season's not over is because you play the Colts, okay? The Colts are without Anthony Richardson. They're going to be playing Gardner Minshew. Now, you're playing in Indy, but you feel like the defense should be good enough to carry you through that. And you feel like the offense, if Deshaun's back, will be enough to get you past that. So you feel like you can beat the Indianapolis Colts 3-3, okay? We get to week 8. You go at Seattle. I'll say that's a loss, right? Maybe Geno has a good one. Maybe the defense is off day, traveling 3-4. Is the season over? No. You play the Arizona Cardinals at home. We'll call that a win. 4-4. We play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Now, you already lost. Are the Baltimore Ravens going to sweep you? I don't think the Baltimore Ravens are going to sweep you. Baltimore Ravens haven't swept us since, 2020? I don't think that starts today. I think the Browns win that game. Now they're 5-4. Pittsburgh at home. I think the Browns will win that game. The Browns' problems recently versus Pittsburgh have only been in Pittsburgh, not necessarily in Cleveland. They'll find a way to win that game. 5-3, right? Is that 5-3? I got 1 win. It in 2 losses. No, 1 less. Yeah, 5-3. They're 5-3. The season is right here, right? Denver Broncos at Denver. You should win that game. 6-3. At LA, I don't know, right? You might lose that. 6-4. Home against Jacksonville, that's a toss-up. I'll say they win that. 7-4. Chicago Bears, 8-4. At Houston, that's going to be a tougher game than people expect, but I say you win that one. 9-4. The Jets, you play them Thursday night at home. That should be a win. 10-4. And then you play the Cincinnati Bengals. I think we should win that one because it's the Bengals, but we'll see. So 11 wins, right? Let me recount that to make sure I am absolutely clear and correct on that, because I think I dropped the game here. So let's say they lose the San Francisco game, 2-3. They win this Colts game, 3-3. They lose this Seahawks game, 3-4. They win this Cardinals game, 4-4. They win the Baltimore Ravens game, 5-4. They win the Pittsburgh game, 6-4. They win the Denver game, 7-4. They win the Rams game, 8-4. They win the Jacksonville game, 9-4. They win the Bears game, 10-4. They win the Texans game, 11-4, 12-4. You see how you can get here, right? You can even drop like a Jacksonville game. You can drop maybe with Jacksonville, maybe you lose that Houston game somewhere in that stretch. You still have a pathway to 10 wins here, right? And the thing I want to make sure that we all are clear on is this team has 2 wins. In order to make the playoffs, you need 8 more wins. Do you see 8 wins in here, right? That's the question. I see more than 8 possibilities for wins, right? San Francisco, it depends. If Deshaun plays, I think you can win that game. I think they're going to be coming off of a huge victory versus the Cowboys. They'll be playing on the road. I think there's a chance that you could catch them off guard. They might be sleeping on you because they don't think your quarterback's going to play, and you can catch them off guard and win a game against them, sneak up on them. That kind of thing happens in the NFL all the time, but I'm not going to say you're going to be favored in that game by any means. So, okay, there's that. Colts, that's a winnable game. Anybody going to disagree with me? The Seahawks are a winnable game. I don't know if you win it, but that's a winnable game. That's 2. The Cardinals, definitely a winnable game. That's 3. Baltimore, that's a winnable game. That's 4. Pittsburgh, that's a winnable game. That's 5. Denver, that's a winnable game. That's 6. Los Angeles is a winnable game. That's 7. Jacksonville, that's a winnable game. That's 8. We're already at our number. The Bears, it's a winnable game. That's 9. The Texans, it's a winnable game. That's 10. The Jets, it's a winnable game. That's 11. You have 11 winnable opportunities in this schedule. There's nobody that you're playing after this 49ers team that you feel like you don't have a chance to win against. Whether that be Deshaun playing at his best, whether that be that his defense continues to play at his way. But what I've seen from this team in four weeks, I don't see anybody other than San Francisco that's going to cause serious problems for you. So is the season over even if you lose this week? No, it's not even close to over. The truth is that this season's going to be a long one. It's going to be a tough one. There's going to be bumps and blows. They're not going to just make a run probably. They're going to probably be squeaking it out to that 10 or 11 win number. But I think that this is a team that can get there if they get some stable quarterback play. Now, that's a big if right now because we just don't know what the status is of Deshaun. Hopefully, we have a better understanding of what that is after practice today, and that's all good news. But until we do, it's a little bit up in the air. I can see why people are concerned, but we also have to wait this whole process out and see how it bears itself out. And even if Deshaun is going to play, we have to see how he plays. If there's going to be a clear, he's not going to be who he needs to be moment there with him. So I made this video to point out what the rest of the schedule looks like because I think sometimes myself included, I work off of the knowledge of being like, oh, it's a tough schedule because I looked at the schedule in May and then came back to it and never really reevaluated where these teams are at. But the truth is that this schedule is favorable for the Cleveland Browns. I think the bye week came at the right time for this team. I think the first few games came at the right time. Like, think about it like this. You played the Cincinnati Bengals at the perfect time. You played the Tennessee Titans probably at the perfect time. You should have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. You should be a 3-1 team. I think we all know that. But the fact is that 2-2, with all of these games left on the schedule, you are more than in a good place to try to make the playoffs if you're the Cleveland Browns. You just need good quarterback play, or not good, but good. Yeah, you need good. You need good quarterback play at the very least. You need Deshaun to get back healthy and be closer to who he was versus the Tennessee Titans. And you need his defense to continue to be good like they've been the last month of the season. And if you get those things, you will be in a good place for this team. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.